Hello, welcome to Monday's programme. First tonight, well, he got off at Leicester railway station carrying a rucksack and then told us to expect the biggest railway revolution in the East Midlands in decades.
The Business Secretary Vince Cable confirmed that the line linking Nottingham, Derby and Leicester with London is finally to be electrified. It is a huge investment and something that campaigners have wanted for years.
Well, our reporter Mike O'Sullivan is outside Derby railway station for us now. Good evening to you, Mike. What effect will this have on train journey times then?
Good evening, Anne. Well, yes, faster journey times to London. Trains to London from Derby reaching the capital in something like an hour and a half because of electrification, perhaps taking around 10 minutes off the journey time. Similar effect in Nottingham and Leicester as well. Well, for saying it was such a big announcement, there was little fanfare really when Vince Cable and his rucksack arrived at Leicester station this morning.
Calling it Melton Mowbray, Oakham.
The Business Secretary, now arriving on platform 2 in Leicester, is about to announce a huge investment in the railways in our region. £800 million on electrification of the Midland Main Line to London. The result? Faster journeys and greener journeys between the capital and the region. But who pays? Rail fares are going to have to shoot up, aren't they?
Well, rail fares are not increasing beyond what was already planned. There are already increases in rail fares already agreed and approved.
3% above inflation.
But this will generate the revenue in order to pay for this, and of course the government does stand behind the rail system in any event.
So there'll be no increase in rail fares to pay for electrification of the Midland Main Line?
Well, we're not talking about increases in rail fares beyond what has already been agreed and approved.
Derby to London under an hour and a half, and Nottingham to London will be hopefully about an hour and a half. So a few minutes journey time saving. I think that the bigger benefit is actually in terms of the capacity improvements that we're going to see, for example, here at Leicester and in Derby, where we're going to be able to cut some of the delays we get from congestion.
Speeding up train times to London is something that businesses and politicians have been calling for from the East Midlands for years. One recent study backed by businesses and councils in the East Midlands said electrification would generate £450 million worth of economic benefits in terms of higher productivity.
I think it will mean great opportunities to bring new inward investment into the city and opportunities for growth in the area and creation of more jobs.
Businesses will be able to do business up here, maybe relocate up here. Families will be able to find jobs further afield because they have the surety of the line that's there. And I think this is a really serious boost to our local economy. We've calculated that to Nottinghamshire alone it's about £5.5 million per annum of extra investment.
Some passengers welcomed the idea, but others didn't want to pay more for tickets.
Investment would be good, but investment if it makes the trains cheaper rather than more expensive.
The train fares, they go up and up and up, so if the train fares went down, then yeah, it'd be a great investment, but if the train fares stay it might just well just not be done at all.
I think it's good because it puts Leicester on a commuter route, and with the modern world and technology sort of growing fast, I think it's good.
The Derby train maker Bombardier could benefit from work to switch to electrification.
This is the biggest railway revolution we've had for decades, and there will be opportunities for Bombardier to bid for that. We can't obviously guarantee individual contracts, but certainly the prospect for any company making trains is excellent.
The upgrade is due to take place between 2014 and 2019. Well, politicians both locally and nationally have been telling us how important rail electrification is to boost the region's economy. So how are companies both small and large reacting to today's announcement? James Roberson has been finding out.
After decades of wondering if it would ever happen, businesses across the region near the Midland Main Line greeted the news of its forthcoming electrification with intense interest. In Stapleford in Nottinghamshire, Russ Brazier runs a firm specialising in leisure and retail interiors. He travels to London 4 times a week. Despite his close proximity to Nottingham Station, recently he's travelled over 30 miles to Grantham Station because he felt the East Coast Main Line was quicker. Now he might again go from Nottingham or East Midlands Parkway.
I would hope so. I think I've noticed obviously they're putting the multi-storey car park there. Again, access to it, hopefully they're going to make that easier. But if they're going to electrify the line and make it quicker for all of us, then yeah, I think it's going to be preferable.
One business watching today's announcement more keenly than most is Bombardier in Derby. After losing a £1.4 billion contract, it just survived with help from a huge public campaign. Today it was being careful what it said. Bombardier have not made any direct comment about their hopes for any contracts from today's statement by the Transport Secretary, but they have said that they warmly welcome it, and they say that the environmental benefits will be significant and that it's also very positive news for both the UK economy and for UK rail travellers. But one worker was speaking out. Kevin Owens started the Made in Britain blog supporting his own firm.
To us in this site, it means we've got three great products that can take advantage of it. We've got the Electrostar train, the Aventra train, and a lot of work being put into the hybrid train. So hopefully these products will come into their own.
James Roberson, East Midlands Today.
Well, let's get more business reaction now from George Cowcher from the Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire Chamber of Commerce. Good evening, George. George, 40 years in the asking. Is there a sense of relief in the business community today?
It's great to see the pieces in the jigsaw being put in place. A453 announced about dualling, and now electrification of the Midland Main Line. These are essential bits of infrastructure we need to make sure that we have a very prosperous region.
Yeah, you're saying it is, essential for prosperity, but is it really that important?
It's really important that we are seen to be a first-class business location where businesses can invest and can operate at the highest levels. We must make sure that we aren't overshadowed by what's happened in the Birmingham-Manchester corridor, or indeed what's happened on the East Coast Main Line.
But shaving a few minutes off the journey time to London, does that really make such a big difference to businesses?
When you are trying to attract inward investment from all around the globe, minutes do count. But more than that, we want the image of a modern electrified railway, clean and reliable, and clearly one which can accelerate and get down to London as soon as it possibly can.
Yeah, and the business secretary there saying that, fares won't go up. I mean, if they did go up, passengers wouldn't be happy at this at all, would they?
No, clearly we have to pay for the new investment, and this is going to be a long-term investment in terms of how we're going to do that. We need to make sure there's a good balance between what people pay, but also making sure that we've got the infrastructure we need.
Where does this leave High Speed 2, do you think?
Well, that's, I think, a later development. I think this was essential for the immediate requirements that we require. High Speed 2 is really for the medium and long term. That still remains an essential part of the equation.
OK. George Cowcher from Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire Chamber of Commerce, thanks very much. Well, it looks like rail electrification is finally on track, but only 40 years late.
Mike O'Sullivan, thanks very much indeed.